Good morning. Thank you for being here. My name is Oscar Wando and I am part of Pure Investment Bank as an analyst in the risk department. Today I am presenting a justification of the risk department to invest in long-run Mexican bonds. Our agenda for the day is based on three topics and the conclusion. First, I am going to explain you what is risk, then how it is today the Mexican market and the risk. After that, we are going to analyze where to invest, ending with the conclusion. To start, I want to ask you something. Do you know that in the last trimester, Mexican economy decreased by minus 0.02% on its GDP? And also, while bonds market had a growth of 0.5% on its spread. Let me start with what is risk. As a concept, risk is all that variables that are not under our control and that can affect our investment. Risk can be measured as a percentage of losses or losses in terms of money. Risk management, the real thing that matters and that our department works for is to manage the risk, finding ways to mitigate it by knowing where and how to invest. After knowing this theoretical framework, we can now analyze today's risk in our investments. As we all know, the new government is changing the economics policies for something more leftist. Also, the world most indebted of oil company is creating a lot of risk, especially because of its correlation with the government finance. We are talking about Pemex. Additionally, investors are turning to see other countries since the new international Mexico City airport was cancelled last year because of our president Andrés Manuel. In the other hand, we have the USA economy, which is really co-integrated with our economy, that is slowing down its growth. This is because the commercial war against China and some other countries. Among these, the Federal Reserve, mostly known as the Fed, decided to start normalizing the interest rates after 10 years after the financial crisis. Finally, the President Donald Trump decided to reduce taxes so companies reduce its cost and invest more. However, it didn't happen. Enterprises decided not to invest but to save the money, and economy has a less dynamism. All the previous explained is causing uncertainty all over the world, having less real investment, so any great growing is happening. We, as the risk department, are worried about this situation, and we want to show you where is the ideal place to invest when the whole economy is uncertain. Let's look at the IPC index, which stands as the indicator of the Mexican stock market. See how was growing the last year, and how it becomes decreasing when Andrés Manuel entered the government, and in the last months it has been going down, also in negative numbers. So it is so risky to invest in the Mexican stock market. Now take a look at this. It is the Mexican bond market a year ago, a month ago, and currently happening, last updated the Friday of this month, the May 10th of this month. From left to right, we can see the short to long run bonds. See how the long run bonds has been growing its spread, like from 7.8% to 8.6%. So it has the biggest spread in all of the yield curve bonds. To finish our analysis, I am presenting to you a very easy way to measure risk and to understand risk, called value at risk. Each a million pesos invested. So it shows us how much can we lose in an investment if something really bad happened in 1% of the worst cases. So we can see that a year ago investing in Mexican bonds and in the Mexican stock market was more or less the same, like having losses of 50,000 pesos and 49,000 pesos. Now, we can see that 6 months ago, the pattern started to be divergent, decreasing the par in Mexican bonds and increasing in the Mexican stock market. And today, the pattern is so much different, having a loss of 35,000 pesos in the Mexican bonds and a loss of 60,000 pesos in the Mexican stock market. So today is very clear that risk in the Mexican bonds market is decreasing and its return is growing. As we saw it in the previous slides, unlikely the stock market, which is incrementing its risk and slowing its returns. So after all this analysis, we can be sure that world economy is definitely slowing down. In the specific case of Mexico, due to government policies and some decisions, the Mexican stock market is having less returns and higher risk than the bond market. So I invite you to start investing in Mexican long-run bonds to win more by risking less. Thank you for your time and for considering Pure Investment Bank as your confidence bank. Do you have any doubts?